Hello everyone. Today I am going to discuss the poem Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening by Robert Frost. I think you all know who is Robert Frost. He is a very well known poet of basically on loneliness, alienation, all these things, on human nature also. So this poem Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening, this is a nature poem of him. So, by the title itself, we can understand that in this poem, he's going to talk about woods. So, what does woods mean? Woods means forest. So, actually, he is talking about an incident when he stopped nearby a wood and it was a snowy evening. So ये क्या था, ये एक snowy evening था and he stopped near that wood. So उन्होंने क्या किया था, उन्होंने एक फॉरेस्ट के पास उन्होंने अपने घोड़े को रोका था, वो कहीं पे जा रहे थे. तो ये इसके टाइटल से इतना समझ में आता है हम लोग को. सो लेट्स जस्ट मूव ऑन द poem. Let's see what is there in the poem. Whose woods these are, I think I know. His house is in the village though. So he is saying, whose woods these are, I think I know. He says that he knows whose woods are these. किसके फॉरेस्ट है ये, किसके woods है, वो पोइट बोलते हैं कि शायद वो जानते हैं. हिज हाउस इज़ इन द विलेज दो, बट ही इज सेइंग दैट द ओनर्स हाउस इज़ इन द विलेज दो. लेकिन जो ओनर है इस वुड्स का, उनका हाउस कहाँ पे है, विलेज पे है. ही विल नॉट सी मी स्टॉपिंग हियर टू वॉच हिज वुड्स फिल अप विथ स्नो. एंड ही इज ऑल्सो सेइंग दैट ओनर ऑफ दैट फॉरेस्ट विल नॉट एबल टू सी हिम स्टॉपिंग नियर द woods because his house is in the village and the poet has stopped near his woods which is not near the village, it was far from the village. So he says that owner of the forest will not see him stopping near his woods, and his woods was at that time filled up with snow. So it was a snowy evening as already said in the title, and he said that his woods, that owner's woods or the forest of the owner was filled up with snow. And you know what is snow? Snow is ice. After that, in the next stanza he talks about my little horse must think it queer. He says that his little horse on which he was riding and on which he was traveling on his horseback, and he was riding his horse. He was going somewhere, riding his horse. He says that his little horse must think it queer. His little horse must think this incident as strange because he never stopped near a wood earlier. To stop without a farmhouse near. Earlier, whenever he used to stop somewhere, he used to stop near a farmhouse. So when he stopped near the forest, he said that his horse must think it very strange because his owner, means the owner of the horse, the poet himself, is saying that he does not even stop at some place where is no farmhouse nearby. But at that place there was no farmhouse nearby, but still he stopped near the forest or near the woods, between the woods and frozen lake. So when the horse realized that his owner has stopped between the woods near a frozen lake, which was very the lake which turned into ice as a result of extreme cold, the lake water which turned into ice as a result of extreme cold. And when his horse realized that his owner has stopped in such a place where there is no farmhouse nearby, and still his owner has stopped in this place, at that time his horse must have thought that it's a very strange thing, the darkest evening of the year, and his horse must have thought that it was the darkest evening of the year because snow was falling, and also it was evening time and it was going to be dark, it was going to be night time. So he said that it was the darkest evening of the year. Next, he gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there is some mistake. So his horse gives a shake to the harness bell. A harness bell is a bell which is tied on the neck of a horse to control it. To control the horse, a bell is tied on the neck of the horse, and when the horse thought it strange, then he shook his harness bell to ask his owner if there's some mistake, if his owner has done any mistake by stopping in such an or at such an unusual place where he never stops. The only other sounds the sweep of easy wind and downy flake, and the only other sound was the sweep of easy wind, the smooth movement of smooth movement of wind and downy flake, and the soft feathery small pieces of snow falling from the sky. So and in the next danger, the poet says, the woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. But then he says that the woods are lovely, dark and deep, though the wood is lovely, dark and deep, but he has some responsibilities, some duties to fulfill, some duties to perform. So he says that he has promises to keep. He has made some promises, and which he keep need to be kept. Promises should be kept, and thus he need to fulfill those promises. He need to keep the promises intact, and for that he has to go miles before he sleeps. It means he has to travel a long way before he stops, and he also has to do a lot many work before he dies. So these are the meaning of the last two lines, where the poet says that उनके पास बहुत सारे काम हैं अभी भी, ऐसे ही वो किसी भी जगह पे ऐसे रुक नहीं सकते, because he has many responsibilities, many duties to perform, and for that he has to travel without stopping near such beautiful place, because if he stops once, then his responsibilities will not be performed or fulfilled. He will not be able to uh, perform his responsibilities, or he will not be able to keep his promises that he has made. So this is the meaning of the poem, जिसमें जो poet है वो क्या करते हैं, basically वो जो हमारा जो रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज़ एंड ड्यूटीज़ है हमारे लाइफ में, इनके बारे में बोलते हैं। दो हमारे लाइफ में बहुत सारे ऐसे सिचुएशंस आते हैं जब हमें ऐसा लगता है कि हमें थोड़ी देर के लिए पॉज करना चाहिए, पॉज करके थोड़ा मतलब रिलैक्स फील करना चाहिए, लेकिन फिर भी हम क्या करते हैं, पूरा पॉज नहीं करते हैं, थोड़ी देर के लिए ही हम लोग रेस्ट लेते हैं, लेकिन फिर से हम अपना जर्नी कंटिन्यू करते हैं। हम अपने जर्नी को कभी भी स्टॉप नहीं कर सकते। इसी के बारे में इस पोएम में पॉइंट्स ने बोला है, क्योंकि हमारे लाइफ में बहुत सी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज़ हैं जिनको हमें फुलफ़िल करना है, एंड हमने बहुत सारे प्रॉमिसेस किए हैं जिनको हमें पूरे करने हैं। तो इसीलिए वो बोलते हैं कि जब भी ऐसा फील हो दैट इट्स स्नोई इवनिंग, इट्स अ डार्क इवनिंग वेयर वी शुड स्टॉप फॉर अ वाइल, वी शुड स्टॉप। जब भी हमारे लाइफ में ऐसा लगे कि बहुत सारे स्टॉर्म आ रहे हैं एक साथ, तो हमें थोड़ी देर के लिए थोड़ा पॉज लेना चाहिए, ठीक है, लेकिन हमें पूरा अपनी जर्नी को स्टॉप नहीं करना चाहिए, उसको फिर से कंटिन्यू करना चाहिए। और जब भी हम उसको फिर से कंटिन्यू करेंगे तो विथ एनर्जी एंड विथ मतलब जो एंथुसियाज्म होता है उसको पूरा इंटैक्ट रख के, उसको पूरा पहले जैसा रख के, पॉजिटिव वाइब्स लेके हमें उसको फिर से शुरू करना है जर्नी को। सो दैट्स ऑल फॉर टुडे, एंड पोएम यहाँ पे जो पोएम है यहाँ पे ये ख़त्म होती है। थैंक यू सो मच गाइस।